Everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here showing part of a card kit. My favorite things came out with a card kit called Stitched Blooms, and I believe it was in May, I believe. And I did get it. Stupid me, broke it apart and never taped it. Everything spread all over the place. So this video is going to do one card and we're going to do bits and pieces. So I grabbed the die set because of course that was the focal point, no stamps. And this paper pad, I got it at Michael's because y'all know I live there. And it's from Recollections and it's actually just called a banner paper die. So you can see that these are cut into the shape of a banner, which is fine. But what I really liked about them, because they were on sale, was the fact of the watercolor look that you have here. And it's just really some pretty colors. So I'm going to strategically place the leaves, of course, in the green area. And you can see I kind of have two shades of that green. So I'm going to be playing with that. Same thing with the flowers. We're going to put that into certain areas. So we're actually forcing the colors of our items that we're die cutting. Okay. Now, each of these pieces, as you can see, are just what they're called, stitched blooms. So these are flowers and leaves, and they have stitch lines. They have stitch accents. So it all depends, but they are just nothing but stitched pieces, stitched dies. So I thought that was really cool. And again, I am so sorry. I was just on a roll and I just broke the kit down. But I'm using pieces of it. So here I'm focusing on the centers. We have lots of these circles and also focusing on the different sizes of the flowers. And again, I'm just placing the dies down. Now, if you have paper that's like this, you can also use pattern paper. I chose paper with a watercolor look. Dig into that stash if you've got stashes of pattern paper. It can have a print. It could be solid. It could be anything that you want it to be. So always keep that in mind. Whatever you have, you can utilize it. You may also have a set of floral dies already. You don't need these exact dies. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, one thing that I do like about my favorite things and their card kits is the stamp and the dies will become available when it comes to their next month release. So that's another reason why I figured, you know what, I'm going to real quick do this video, even though I did a fun mess up. Yes, this not so much of a happy accident, so sorry. But you're still able to get these dies as long as they're available. So here I'm just playing with all my pieces like a puzzle, laying them out, figuring out which ones I want to go where, how I want to layer them. You can use 2 layers. You can use 3 layers. Heck, you can use 4 and 5 if you want. Again, it's up to you. You know, the more layers that you use, the more dimensional your flowers are going to be. Leaves didn't layer. You can, but I chose not to. So I'm using my Tonic Studios tacky glue, liquid glue, and I'm just starting to layer these. So I want the flowers to be ready before I get to my card base. If I have a little bit too much of glue that came out of the container, I just dab my finger on it. So that kind of smears the glue across the piece and also remove some of the excess from the piece. Because sometimes we can get carried away with glue. I do all the time. So those are our flowers. So we've got some corals, we've got some purples, pinks, and then we've got our 2 different shades of green for our leaves. And now we're just going to play with the placement. So I want this arrangement to sit in the bottom left-hand corner, but I also want it to extend out from that corner as well. So I want it to go up just a little bit and it's definitely going to go across. So usually my cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 top folding cards. This card's going to be a 4 1/4, 5 1/2 side folding. I'm using foam squares. I'm using my liquid adhesive, and I'm just placing the flowers around. I do like to place when it comes to bouquets like this or arrangements, I do like to put down the focal points. In this case, it would be the florals. Now, you can also tell that I don't cover the entire piece with foam squares. I pretty much put them right in the center of my piece, especially when it comes to flowers. This way, even with my glue, I put it to the center. Even if I used glue dots, I put it to the center. I don't cover the entire image so that it lays completely flat, because I want to be able to lift a section up and put a leaf under it if I choose to. This way I'm able to still have that dimension in a way, but be able to position it so that it's coming from behind, or maybe it's coming from behind one and in front of the other one. So you can kind of get those layers. I'm going to use my anti-static tool. Yes, I was able to unclog it. Amazing. And I'm using this Gina K stamp set. It's just sentiments. I had received, I believe, that stamp set because you all know I stalked the channel for the new Stamp TV kit, and I did get it. And this was something that came in because, of course, I just can't get the kit. So I was able to get that. I think the sentiments are beautiful. I do believe that she also has that available, but I believe there's other stamps with it. But who wouldn't want other stamps? So I will make sure that I do link to the products, as always, that I'm using down below in the video description. I used my white embossing powder on a scrap of piece of black cardstock, and I heat set that in place. And now I'm using one of my Lawn Fawn Everyday Sentiment banner dies. It's just easier. It gives me a straight line. And if I want a banner, I can keep a banner. If I don't, I can cut them off. So I'm propping that up as well with some foam squares, and I'm going to put that along the top and just set that in place. Now, my design panel that I've put all my flowers and leaves on, I did use my favorite things, Wonky Stitch Rectangle die for that as well. You all know that's my favorite. But I chose to use that one just to get, because again, it has lots of stitches going on. I grabbed one of my spare card bases. Again, this is a side folding card, but it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. What also came in the kit, not only some beautiful envelopes in rainbow color. Who doesn't like to look at rainbow color in order? Cardstock, of course, but it also came with these sparkling crystals, which of course you just can't have one pack. But these are the Studio Katya sparkling crystals. So they're like the black gems that I use, except these are clear. So they're not white, they are absolutely clear. So wherever you put them down, it's going to emphasize or accent that color that you're going down upon. So I'm using these for the center of my flowers. For some I used 3, one I used 1, and then another one I actually used 5 of these. You're going to watch me fight to put these back into the awesome pouch, because that's what I do. I always have a problem getting my sequins and stuff like this back up. And that is our card. So again, I showed you pieces of the Stitched Blooms die or card kit, I'm sorry, for my favorite things. As I said, I do know that the one neat thing that they do when it comes to the stamps and dies of their card kits, they are made available at a later time. So if it is available at this time, I will make sure that I link to it down below so that you can take advantage of it if you want to. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I will make sure I get back to you as soon as I can. Again, all of the products that I used in this video will be linked down in the video description, but I always forget something, and I'm very thankful that sometimes when I do forget that, somebody does ask, hey, you use this, can you give me the link? I do not mind that, and I will get that link to you as soon as I can. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'd love to have you part of my little tiny part of YouTube community going on here. We do have a lot of fun, and hopefully I am inspiring you and making you dig into your stashes, or maybe looking at card making or any type of paper craft in a different way, and in a way that will work for you. So with that said, I hope everyone's having a great day, but always remember, be creative.